So welcome to the video. Set yourself up for success, not sabotage, when it comes to your money manifesting. Now, the biggest reason people fail when it comes to creating abundance and financial freedom is usually not manifesting more money, which is funny, right? Because I bet you think all you need to do is manifest more money, But that's actually not the biggest reason why people fail when it comes to creating abundance in their life and maintaining it. It's actually failing to hold onto it is the biggest thing. So like in week 2 of the It Girl Unleashed program, this is more like controlling that sabotaging shadow side, because your natural state is the goddess level. Your natural state is to attract goddess level abundance. So really manifesting more is natural to you. But what is not natural is the programming of that sabotaging behavior coming in. So this is why most people just fail to hold on to it, because they don't know how to control or manage this shadow sabotaging side. And trust me, in my dancing days, I used to make thousands of dollars. I earned like over $20,000 some months. And when the end of the year came, what do you think I had to show for it? Absolutely nothing. Zero. And that might sound crazy, right? How can you make like over 6 figures in a year and have nothing to show for it? Well, I met a lot of people who earned a lot of money and were dead broke. And I met a lot of people who earned like 30 grand a year and were really abundant because they knew how to manage this sabotaging shadow side. So clearly it was not an issue with me about being able to manifest money. But it was an issue with feeling comfortable being able to hold on to that abundance. It was like on some level, I just didn't feel worthy of it, so I would sabotage and spend it. And I also saw this with other dancers too. And it was almost like self-love levels also had something to do with it, which is why I've waited till now to give you this part of the program. Because with going through phase 1 and 2 of the It Girl Unleashed program, you've worked on self-love, and your self-esteem is robust enough to now know that you deserve money and to be abundant. And now you're equipped mentally, emotionally, energetically with the tools to manage this shadow sabotaging side. So the real trick is, especially if you are like me and naturally sabotage money way too easily, you need automatic processes that help you maintain your momentum and enable you to hold on to your money. Now, I do have to put a disclaimer because I'm not trained or qualified to give financial advice at all. All I'm doing is sharing helpful tips that I've learned over the years that have not only helped me, but have been proven to help people create financial freedom. So now, I'm going to show you how to do this and automate these processes to stop you from sabotaging in 4 different ways. The first method I call living in harmony within a set money standard. Method 2 is abundance buckets for financial freedom. Method 3 is incremental upgrades. And method 4 is identifying sabotaging slippery slopes and creating rich habits that have got your back. Now, number 1, living in harmony with a set money standard. Now, what is a set money standard? Well, it's essentially a budget. Now, I know this does not sound sexy at all, living on a budget, right? Now, I know, girl, right? That's one of the main reasons why I changed the term to a set money standard. Because what's even less sexy is being piss poor broke and always in financial instability and crisis. Trust me, I've been in both situations, and even though for years I had negative programming around sticking to a budget, because I felt that, that's what poor people did and I didn't want to be poor or act poor. I had so much 3D programming around it and so much shame around it that I actually found in my years of meeting many millionaires that this is exactly what they did also. They actually lived on a budget, and that's why they were so rich. And the simple math of earning more than you spend is surprisingly sexy when you start to see the money saving in your account and the feeling of safety and abundance building. And it's also a good self-esteem builder to know that you trust yourself not to be ruled by any whim or emotion to splurge your funds, and when you can learn to say no to your sabotaging impulses, your self-esteem takes a new turn for the better. So I want you to get seduced by the idea that living within a set money limit and standard today, which will help you keep, multiply your money, and become that rich goddess queen tomorrow. Nobody says you have to live like a student on ramen noodles every day, but there are many ways to live and feel rich and abundant that you don't need to spend your cash on. And what I used to do was I used to get that fix by spending on stuff and buying stuff to make me feel happy, and it just never stuck. So when you can substitute those negative money habits for free things that make you feel just as good or even better, then you're on your way to living within that set money standard. And you just have to see what you earn and start to live within this set money standard for now until it's time to upgrade. So get into your mind, sticking within your set money standard no matter what is sexy, because when you have excess to expand and grow, you, girl, will become the ultimate money manifestation magnet. And then once the manifestation magic starts to work and you increase your money, you can incrementally upgrade your life and set a new, higher set money standard until one day you look at it from the life you live today and see that it's worlds away. Some of my business mentors that earn 10 million a year or more still like to live a modest and minimalistic lifestyle and live on a fraction of what they earn, just because they know the power of having a massive war chest and the safety and abundant feeling that it brings them, not the high maintenance lifestyle that causes them to stress. So one of my mentors, he was earning like 10 million a year and he was spending like $40,000 a month just on his home. He then decided that it was just such a waste. He had like a $500,000 car that just cost him more money. He had a pool to fix. He had all of this stuff that just kept building up and causing more hassle and stress. So he actually just got rid of his big mansion and he moved into a luxury apartment which cost like $8,000 a month to live in. And he literally has like very minimal stuff and he is the happiest he's ever been. So he reduced his set money limit just to kind of like for fun, because he found that it made him feel better and he was more productive and less distracted. So you probably thinking this, okay, well, $8,000 for rent each month sounds a lot, but for him, going down from $40,000 a month to $8,000, he was setting a new money standard for himself that was allowing him to feel more abundant, to grow his finances even quicker, and to feel more free. And after all, isn't that why people want money, to feel free? So just understand that a set money standard doesn't have to be really low all the time. You can incrementally upgrade it to the point or downgrade it as and when you feel. It's all about how it makes you feel. So right now, I want you to use the Living in Harmony within a Set Money Standard worksheet, which is available for download in the resources section below this video, and find out what exactly is the money standard you can set right now that would allow you to spend less than you manifest, so that you can live in harmony with your money and quickly become the rich goddess queen you've always wanted to be. So pause this video right now and do that. Do not move on until you have completed this worksheet. Go and do it right now. Great, so now you've completed that worksheet, you now know how much you currently manifest in a month, and you've identified what your set money standard needs to be in order for your money to multiply at lightning speed and in harmony. Now let's move on to number 2, the abundance buckets for financial freedom. So firstly, what is financial freedom? You've probably heard it thrown around, the term. Well, it actually means that you get to make life decisions without being overly stressed about the financial impact, because you're prepared. You control your finances instead of being controlled by them. And financial freedom doesn't mean that you're free of the responsibility of handling your money well. It's the point in your life where you make your money work for you. And to get to that point, it doesn't have to take as long as you think, especially with the universal law of compounding that I talked about in week 1 of the program. All you have to do is get it started and set it up, and then the rest takes care of itself. So what are abundance buckets? Now, they are buckets that you segment your income into in order to automatically allow your money to accumulate. Now, you see, most people live paycheck to paycheck and only use one account. It's so disorganized. And most people don't have any savings at all. And it's a hand-to-mouth situation, month to month, always in survival mode. And they never really have a clue about where their money level is, what's going on with it, what's coming in, what's going out, let alone are at a point where their money is being looked after and nurtured enough to grow to the level that they truly want and desire. And most people rape their bank accounts. And just like any relationship, if you abuse it, it's not likely to stick around and it will not look after you later. So financial buckets are a great way to automatically segment your income so that you have different streams of income for an extended life plan, for securing the optimal environment for money to manifest and multiply. So the basic abundance buckets are a set money standard bucket. Now, this is your monthly living expenses, which we covered in Living in Harmony within your Set Money Standard worksheet. The second one is the growth bucket. So this is savings for courses, educations, riskier investments, business startups, that sort of thing. Things that inspire fast growth in your life. And then there's a fun and dream bucket, which is, where you save your house purchases, your holidays, your cars, your weddings, anything on your dream board that you want. And then you have a future bucket, which is your long-term security, retirement fund, the future. And it should contain at least, at any given time, 2 to 6 months worth of living expenses to take the pressure off. Now, depending on where you are in your life, if you're in your 20s or 30s, you might even be thinking, a future bucket? I do not need that, Lauren, right now. Just give it all to me in the dream bucket or in the growth bucket. And, fair enough. However, I will say that time is coming, whether you like it or not. So isn't it better now to kind of like plant seeds for the future right now? Because in 10, 20 years time, you're going to wish you had. So why not start now, even if it's really small, and just the confidence that it'll give you that your future's taken care of, and you won't have to be one of those people that, is like really limited by pension alone or anything else, because you would have planned ahead. And it really isn't just about people who make loads and loads and loads of money that are okay in retirement. It's people that actually are disciplined enough to start saving early, that actually are the ones that are more financially free. So I would suggest just think for the future now, even if you're in your 20s. And then finally, you've got your freedom bucket. Now, this is a bucket to put towards your loans and debts so you can quickly and effortlessly melt them away. So if you don't have any debts, then you don't need a freedom bucket. However, if you do, this one is really good, and you can really pay off debts and loans really quickly when you start to have a freedom bucket. So depending on where you are in life would depend on how much money and what percentage of your earnings or your set money standard that you put into each bucket. But even if at the moment you don't have a lot of excess cash, that's no excuse. Just setting up a small amount by automatic payment from your account when you get paid into each bucket will help you gain some momentum and take control of your money. And I recommend 20% of your set money limit split into your abundance buckets. And I suggest just to split it evenly. So around 4% if you're using all of the buckets. But depending on where you are in life, you might want to adjust that percentage. So let me explain in detail right now. And I want you to complete the Abundance Buckets for Financial Freedom worksheet. So I want you to get up right now and complete that. And you may also want to automatically calculate the amount using the specified section on your Set Money Standard tracking sheet, which you can access in the resources section below this video. And the Set Money Standard tracking sheet is a worksheet you should have already filled in. But you would have noticed that there is a section on that worksheet that says Abundance Bucket Calculation below. And when you fill in this set money standard tracking sheet and you put in your total monthly outgoings and the money manifested, and it will calculate your set money limit and your set money standard. Then it also shows you the abundance cushions for financial buckets, which is here. It will automatically calculate the amount in dollars that you need to put in the other buckets. So go and do that right now. Do not move on until you do this worksheet. So pause this video right now and go and do it. Great. So now you would have completed that. You are in a way better situation regarding your money than most people on the planet. So really, goddess, congratulations. And remember, it may seem like small amounts or small steps right now, but as you start to attract more money, the more money will compound over time and you'll be set up as a financially secure goddess queen. Now, I've talked about this in the law of compounding in week 1, but this is Warren Buffett's net worth. And you can see, like, for years, his age, this was his salary. And over time, look how it grew. And then here, look how it grew. This is the law of compounding. And if you use these automatic buckets and you use the automatic payments to take out this money, it's like you won't even miss that 20%. When it comes straight off your account, it's like you don't even see it's there. You won't spend it. It just goes over time. That money compounds and compounds and compounds, and you'll end up being a really wealthy goddess queen before you even know it. So now you have this steady foundation for your money, and you have seduced your way into living within a set money standard. As the money starts to multiply, you can start to upgrade your life incrementally to that of a goddess level and avoid sabotage. And we do this by incrementally upgrading your life to a goddess level. Now, incremental upgrades are small upgrades over time. And the reason we do this incrementally is to avoid sabotaging. As usually when you have a windfall and it's too big of a jump for you, most people sabotage by spending it all and get right back to their baseline like as soon as possible because it feels so uncomfortable. And you see this a lot, like the people who win the lotto and end up bankrupt just a few years later. And it also explains in week 2 of the program, because your egoic self will always try and bring you back down to your average level. If you're used to like being broke all the time and you get like $10 million, people think that's going to solve the problem, but it doesn't. Because guess what? You're going to find ways to quickly get back to where you feel comfortable if you haven't done the work to raise the standard over time. So incrementally upgrading your life and standards, as well as upgrading your alter ego identity in week 2, will allow you to become the woman whose new standard has risen to a new baseline and will allow abundance to stick and will feel safe with excess money in her life. So how do we incrementally upgrade your life as you manifest more money so that you don't go back to a lower baseline of being broke? How do you incrementally upgrade it? Well, you use your abundance assessment worksheet, which is why I know you did it, goddess. You didn't skip it. I know you did it because I told you to. You need this for it. So again, you can't skip worksheets because they build on everything from before. So as I know you've got this far, I know that you have done this worksheet, and well done you, because now you're in a prime position to actually move on to the next level. And this worksheet that completed earlier in the module, it will show you which areas that you labeled as votary, priestess, or magician level of abundance. And you can start to upgrade these areas incrementally to the next level. For example, if you're at the votary stage in one area of your life, then don't just jump to the goddess stage right away. Upgrade to the priestess level first, and then after you feel comfortable at that level, upgrade to the magician level, and then upgrade to the goddess. If you're already in the magician level in one area, then you can upgrade to the goddess straight away because it's the next stage. But don't make too big of a jump because you'll sabotage it. And remember, it's not about what the world says is an upgrade. It's about how things make you feel and what feels like an upgrade to you. So for example, in your home, like say your bedding is like from Target and it is like scratchy sheets and it is just so votary level to you and it makes you feel poor every time you go to sleep, then probably not going to be the best idea of upgrading to like $1,000 like you know, 1,000 thread count Egyptian cotton sheets overnight, because it's probably not going to stick, and you'll probably just accumulate so much resistance in having that, it will increase your feeling of unworthiness. So instead of like, you know, a scratchy bedspread from Target, maybe upgrade to something a bit more flush, maybe like some really high quality cotton sheets instead of like plastic polyester or whatever. I mean, for you, it might be having satin bed sheets might be an upgrade to the priestess level for you. Or it might be having a really cozy, high quality fleece. Or it might just be adding a really pretty throw. That's how you could upgrade it to the next level, but it has to feel right for you. And the same when it comes to your bathroom. So like your shampoo, say you use like always the cheapest and you're at the Vaultery level. And maybe you can't make the jump to spend like, you know, $50 on some expensive shampoo. However, actually going for the medium option, or maybe spending a bit more than what you'd usually spend with more of a well-known brand, that would be more of a priestess upgrade for you. So you have to really use your intuition when it comes to this. This is not something that I can tell you is what's right. You, as always, goddess, know what is right for you. So trust yourself and go with your instincts on this. So use this abundant assessment worksheet. Look at the areas that are at the lowest level. So it might be Vaultery or priestess level, but the lowest ones, and look at how you can incrementally upgrade them and write down what actions you're going to take to upgrade it. And maybe brainstorm some ideas of products that you can upgrade to, or what's the next level for you. So go and do that right now and start upgrading your life, because before you know it, you would have incrementally upgraded all areas of life to that goddess level. So go and do that right now. And on top of that, you can use this goddess upgrade inspiration worksheet to help inspire you too with things that are free that will increase your abundance level, which is available for download in the resources section below this video. So now you know how to upgrade your life incrementally to that of a goddess level over time. Now I want you to be aware of the one thing that can trip you up. You're sabotaging slippery slope. These are the things you do, the keystone habits and triggers that start your slippery slope of money sabotage. We all have them, just in a different flavor. And even though the goddess magic money manifestation method will eliminate most of your sabotaging behaviors around money and your money goal automatically, it is a good idea to identify your own sabotaging slippery slope of choice, just so you're aware of it and can troubleshoot it if it ever arises, and you can be aware of it. For example, my slippery slope would be a trip into town, an innocent trip into town that would usually start with a craving for an alluring cup of coffee, just an innocent coffee. I just pop into town for a cup of coffee. What could go wrong? Now that urge for a coffee would lead me to wanting to walk around the town, which would lead me to remembering a few things I needed to pick up, a few things for the house, things I couldn't possibly live without. And then I'd see some things I wanted and I'd buy it on complete programmed impulse without a second thought for my money goals, or if I could even afford it. I wouldn't even know what amount of money I had in my account. I just hoped that my card would go through, and then I would just like get the stuff and walk out the shop. And a trip into town would end up costing me sometimes £500 every time. And even though at the time, you know, I was making lots of disposable income as a dancer, and it felt like it didn't really matter. If I have saved those pounds instead, I'd be even more abundant today. And the worst thing was, most of the things I bought were unnecessary and a complete waste. I probably couldn't even tell you all the things I bought in those trips to town all of those years ago, because none of them ever stayed in my life. So I started to catch on, and when I would get that urge for a coffee, I'd take my journal and replace the town excursion of a few hours with a productive habit. And even now, my finances are better than ever. I still have to watch out for it. And when I feel I'm having a weak day and I could go down that slippery slope, instead of getting a coffee out, I make coffee at home. Now, your flavor of sabotage may look different to mine. It may be online shopping for clothes, spending on expensive toys you never use, or even an overindulgent habit of grooming. Now, I'm not saying don't do these things. I'm saying show yourself you can put your money relationship first for a change, and you won't ever have to go without them. So now I want you to identify your favorite flavor of money sabotage using the Money Sabotage Slippery Slope worksheet, which is available for download below in the resources section of this video. So go and do this right now, because you will never be able to create this sort of abundance of a goddess level if you keep falling down those slippery sabotaging slopes. So that's so important you identify them so you can avoid them. So go and do this right now. Okay, so now you would have identified your own personal brand of money sabotaging slippery slopes, and you would have set up all the abundance buckets on automation to take care of your goddess money growth goals. Now we can get into how to attract more money with the Goddess Magic Money Manifestation Method cheat sheet. So when you're ready, let's get into it.